morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. You're watching Camnet TV, not just another channel, and I welcome you to the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show. I'm your host. My name is Precious Mzea Sakaleji, and yes, of course, like any other Saturday, we're here to make sure that we prepare you for the weekend, making sure that your weekend is set, and also update you on what was happening in case you didn't actually have a chance to sit and watch TV, or maybe have a chance to actually buy a newspaper and update yourself on what's happening, current affairs. There's actually a whole lot of things fully packed for you on the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show, and our topic of discussion today is something that we feel should be talked about more often than talking about it when a situation happens, and this is actually child's rights, okay? The children's rights, a child's rights. We will be talking about that. So now the question that we're posing is, how have you, or how are you as an individual making sure that children's rights are protected? Okay, now this comes out of the show because of what was happening, or what is currently happening, a video that has been circulating on social media. Unfortunately, we're unable to play the video because the child's face is showing, so we're just trying to protect the juvenile. The thing is that there was or is one of the social media influencers, entrepreneur as well, that posted a video. She actually had a live video session on Facebook where the child under the age of 5 was actually being given a bottle of alcohol, okay? She was drinking alcohol live on a video on Facebook live broadcast. So now the society community were actually very upset with this woman, and she was actually detained. So now we're waiting to see how far this situation will go. Now you can imagine a child as young as, let's say, 3 years old taking alcohol. So we'll be looking at some of the children's rights, and what are you as an individual doing to make sure that such things are not happening. Most of the times in our communities, you will agree with me, 50% of the time that you actually just stand outside your gate, or maybe you just sit or stand in the streets and observe what's happening, especially places that have actually these taverns and the bars, you will find that parents or guardians actually send their children to go and buy alcohol in the bars, okay, or at a cantemba somewhere where they sell these packaged cachasu and stuff like that. Now, what are you teaching that child as a guardian or as a parent? So we will be looking at that and making sure that we are doing as much as we can to protect our children from such vices. It was actually a sad sight to see this young baby, okay, dancing to this Zambian music while drinking alcohol. You can imagine how disturbing that was. And the lady that was giving alcohol to this child is not even the mother to this child. So we'll get into details on that story and also how it is unfolding on the other side. Remember that you can get interactive with us. You can call us on the numbers scrolling on your screen, or 0968675273, 0968675273. Get to our Facebook platform and also comment on there. We will be posting our question of the day. And kudos to you for waking up this early to actually watch the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show. Whew! So now, getting into our first session of the breakfast show, let's shake our muscles. Let's exercise, and making sure that we actually, you didn't have a chance to exercise over the week, we got you covered on the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show. So let's quickly get into our morning boost, and then we continue with the conversation on the other side. Good morning.
Good morning, Camnet viewers, and welcome to our quick morning show, quick morning workout, and you will be able to benefit from everything we're doing. So remember, the key thing is just for us to help you be fit, exercise, burn some fats in the body, stay fit, and so that your executive functions are on the peak. Okay, as usual, start with a warm-up. Let's go. Just a warm up. A warm up. Warm up. And marching. Hip, 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 hip. Invite everybody in the house. Let's do it together. Everyone is invited. We're going to throw some punches today. Let's go. Last one. All right. You're all welcome once again. Just in case you're getting out of your blankets, join us quick. Let's exercise together. All right, I promise that we're going to do some punches today. Okay, let's start. Two each now. One each. Two each. One each. Two each. One each. Low punch now. Go. Stay low. Watch my legs. Stay there. And up. Punch up. We're gonna mix them now. High punch and low punches. Ready? Let's go. Low punch. Up. Low punch. And matching. Okay, you did well with your punches. We're gonna do a knee high and a kick now. One. One. Two. One. Two. Last one. One. Two. Kick now. Let's go. One. Two. And one. Two. One. Two. One. Two. Back to knee. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Again. Knee high. Last knee. One. Two. Kick now. If you feel your leg is heavy, let's do this. One. And two. Let's go, mama. One. Two. One. Two. High. Higher now. High. High. High now. Let's go. There you go. Kick. Can you hear me, Camnet team? Woo. Let's go. Let the blood flow. No more blood clot on your legs. Let's go. One. And two. And matching now. All right. Trust me, you did well with your your punches and the knee highs and the kicks. Thank you so much. This is Isaac Matsa, your presenter. I'm going to see you next week again as we do our quick morning show. Make sure that you don't miss this breakfast show. Thank you, and I sign out.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show. Wow.
Isaac has done me a quick one. I was supposed to introduce him, but then introducing Mr. Lee.
I found myself on air. How are you today?
Me, I'm alive.
You are not fine, but you're alive. No, it's important to be grateful for. We should be grateful for the very fact that we're alive. We shouldn't take it for granted because other people have not been able to see this day, and we are here today. So that's something to actually celebrate about.
How have you been?
I've been
it's
good.
Very funny that we work at the same organization
and we never get to see each other. Just Saturday
on the phone and see each other on Saturdays
and see each other's statuses.
I like our relationship.
It's less pressure, eh?
Yes, it's less pressure.
I think all friendships should be like this.
And also talking about friendship, I feel there's just a certain level of maturity where you get to understand if your friend doesn't check up on you 4 days or even a week, but then when you talk, it's like you actually were
see
talking
each other
every day or seeing each other every day.
Yeah.
I think that level of understand, we are on the same page.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, everybody has a life. People have things to do. They have things to sort out and whatnot. You don't expect somebody to have 100% attention
Customer
given to
care,
you.
yeah.
No, whatever network where somebody should just
Every day.
It's not possible.
I'm trying to look at the other side of life, but I'm not married. So, but I'm also thinking like it's not every minute, every second that you check up on your husband, right?
Why?
Okay, yeah. So even what more even movie quite? It's not like Mukamba every second. And then as a friend, I should be checking up on you every second.
Not. Like, I was following before I came on set, and I actually. One of the things that you mentioned was one of the stories during the week concerning a lady, the socialite, Mrs. Kennedy, giving alcohol to her cousin's daughter. Well, that made sad reading. I'm yet to find out exactly what the sentence it attracts when you intoxicate a child. I think the media hasn't done very well in regards to finding out whether it's a maximum sentence of 15 years, 2 years,
on the ground, I hear
it's
3 years. If found guilty, I'm not really sure about that.
But then that should have been information that should have been brought out to deter other people from actually doing the same thing.
And also, what my concern was or is currently is that she's just one of the few that we've seen who has come out.
Okay, kambachabezo na precious. Iwe kufana. Wakaribo kupasa po something.
No. I grew up in a house where both my parents don't take alcohol. So even if we had an event, we used to have a lot of events at the house. Even when we have had events, those that take alcohol would actually come with their own, not that the
Your
host
parents
would actually
anyway,
have.
I'll keep my thoughts.
I have never actually growing up. I can't even lie. I have never. But me being a grown up, I have seen
it's very common. It's very common.
But it's not right.
No, it doesn't make it right in any way. And I think maybe people didn't even know that it was something wrong to do. But ignorance is no defense.
What you say, Chikanga? No. It's not like they didn't know. They know this. Even the bottle itself, there's written.
I think she was just excited.
18 and
maybe
above.
She wanted likes. I don't know what was going through her mind.
No. I feel
in order for her to do that. But then there's another story where a 17-year-old gave her son, her 4-year-old, is it 4-year-old son or something like that? Kachasu.
It's the same story. You can't tell me even
to the point of the child blacking out.
Yes, imagine.
No,
because their body couldn't. The body was wondering what is happening because they've never done that before. So I feel it's not that they don't know that it's not right. We know that giving alcohol to a child is not right. And even on the bottle, it's written. No, what mama kambati 18 and above, and then mwana below 5 years.
Yeah, I've heard of stories where a child is crying at agoni. People do that. It's reality.
Wow.
It is reality. Not that I'm saying that it's the right thing to do. It's very wrong. You cannot expose a child to that because at the end of the day, what foundation are you creating for them?
And then
exactly, because then at the end of the day. Children see and they act based on what they see, not what they are told. So what precedents are you creating? What foundation are you creating for your children?
Now, which comes back to the question on the breakfast show, which is, what are you as Lisele Kanyanga Mwanga doing to protect, because that's going against the child's rights. Okay, what are you as a Zambian citizen doing about it? If you see a child going to a bar, you ignore such things, forgetting that there's a saying I don't know how to put it in Yanja. Like a child is guided by the society, like abakushomwana, it's the community, not as an individual. But then you would see that there's so many things that we ignore in our communities. You'll see a child, 10, 11, 12 years, going in a bar to go and buy alcohol for their guardians or for their parents, and we say nothing about it. And for us, it's normal, but it's wrong, totally, which is a sad thing, which is a very sad thing.
I think gone are the days where people actually raise children together, because then people are minding their own business at the end of the day.
Which is bad.
Yeah.
Very bad.
We've passed, perhaps we get into that story.
Which one?
The particular one where a child was given...
the one for the 17-year-old.
Yes,
if it's ready, I think we can actually get into it. And we'll also, I feel talking about the community raising a child together, somehow, Nama rights, they are dead.
I was about to get to that.
We cannot run away from the fact that the Gen Zs and the millennials it's one of the very interesting generations, these two, because for example, Akale, I remember they give this example a lot when the Akale kwa trends, yeah. And if you are seated and an elderly person gets on the train, you will actually get up and let them sit. But tell me one who has ever done that now, where an elderly person, there's that part, you know how
the
bondix part, and then there's also that part where it's supposed to be 3, but they tell you to sit 4, and then there's an elderly person outside that wants to get on a bus. You wouldn't move from that comfortable seat to go because you have paid. You even say, "Oh, tell me some amount. Why in Fendelo?" You know such things. And even when you find young people at these malls, especially during holidays, you'll find young people with bottles of alcohol, groups drinking, getting drunk. If you tried to go under pressure and say, "No, you're too young. You need to focus on school. You are not my father," is one common comment they pass. You are not my father, you are not my mother, so you can't be telling me that. Mind your business. So I feel that has also contributed to society, actually just letting the children just be as they are, growing as they are, doing whatever they need to do, because they feel if they say something, the children won't listen, which brings us back to the houses.
Because at the end of the day, I don't know how you grew up, but I'm certainly aware how I grew up. And one of the things was that you need to respect your elders. It's important that you respect your elders, because at the end of the day, each and every person that you meet in life has something to teach you. And if that person has something to teach you, you have to learn. You have to learn what that person has to teach you. Because, like you said, I remember one time, I think I was telling some kids to stop what they were doing, and this was at church. And they told me direct, and these are toddlers. Who do you think you are? It was cute and funny, But then I left that place
cute
thinking...
and funny is such an interesting sentence, but
yes,
okay.
It was cute and funny coming from toddlers. But then, you know, afterwards, I thought about it and I'm like, wow.
They actually answered me like that.
Yes. And then what type of a home are they coming from? That was my question. That was my fear. Because at the end of the day, like I mentioned, children emulate exactly what they see.
True.
And the concern that everybody has is the fact that at the end of the day, when you give alcohol to a child, when they see you drinking alcohol, they begin to walk in your shoes. They don't care what you tell them. At the end of the day, they will do exactly as they have seen. And it's the desire of every parent that their children should be well-meaning Zambians, contributing tremendously to the development of this country. But what are we setting? No, it's really sad. It's very unfortunate.
No, coming to think of it.
I'm looking forward to seeing how everything is going to unfold, because at the end of the day, the fact that she's a socialite, everybody has her eyes on her, and then the law needs to take its course in ensuring that other people do not do that. So it's unfortunate that she's found herself in such a situation, because she's going to be an example.
Exactly. And also what I have noticed is that majority of the social media influencers go to the extreme for the sake of likes and shares, which I feel it's... I'll ask Luyanda when he comes through. Like, is it a mental thing, or maybe is it about low self-esteem? Is it about living your life to please people out there? Is it about what they say is what you're supposed to do? I want to understand certain things, because honestly speaking, she's a married woman. Okay. Not that I am judging or anything, but there are certain things before you do them. Like, I know certain things, I can't do certain things, and my friends just let me. Like, they would literally buzz my phone to say, if you're late,
you get to a point where you don't listen to anybody anymore, because at the end
which is dangerous.
It's like, it's more of how many Ks did I get in... and you know, it's different. What these people don't understand is that socialites, like influencers in other countries, get paid.
Yeah, they do actually. The more likes you get, the more likes you get on social media,
even YouTube pays you.
Yeah, they do.
For more for the views that you get. But people don't even realize that, and they're just using it for affirmation. Using it for affirmation in the wrong way. And it's sad. It's really sad. We need to ask Luyando, what causes people to behave in such a manner, where you go half naked, exposing your body, just so that you remain relevant, so that people can have something to say, which is very unfortunate.
But anyway, have you taken the COVID-19 vaccine?
Not yet.
Oh, not yet, which means you will.
Yes, because at the end of the day, what choice do we have? If you want to travel, I'm looking forward to my passport.
Yeah, true. If you want to travel, if you're not vaccinated,
because I'm
you
told
can't travel.
when you travel to China, the quarantine period is 28 days. But if I'm going there for business, I don't have 28 days to spend in a hotel.
So if you're vaccinated, which is at your cost, right?
Yes.
Or at the country's cost?
No, at your cost. Who's going to be paying you for being in quarantine in another person's country?
That's 1 month in February.
Yes. So you might as well get vaccinated. So I'm looking forward to getting vaccinated. I'm looking forward to using my passport again.
I'm scared of the jab.
Dust. It's caught dust. But have you seen those videos? Have you seen those videos where some prominent people are getting vaccinated with nothing? Like, aerial shots are showing that they're actually not getting jabbed.
Huh?
Yes, you haven't seen any video like that?
No.
Where, you know, if you're getting vaccinated and I'm looking from this angle, I can be able to see that you've gotten the shot. But then if I look on top, it's actually the needle just passes by the side. That has been happening.
Wait, what? Because honestly speaking, one of the reasons I wanted to go and get vaccinated is because majority of our officials, our leaders have actually
no, I have not seen that
time.
in Zambia. But
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Even in other countries, I'm like, oh, the vice president in Mozambique, the vice president in Uganda has actually gotten that. I might as well, because if they can, they're leading by example. They're not.
Yeah. I've seen such.
We hope that's not happening in Zambia, though. We hope that's not happening in Zambia, because we have trusted these leaders to lead us. So if then this is what's happening, then are we?
No, I don't think that's.
But anyway, as we get to unfold the show, let's quickly just get into a break, and then we'll come back on the other side.
Lukalu, all the way from South Africa. You are watching Camnet channel, not just another channel. God bless you. Stay tuned. We testify. We celebrate. For all you've done, Lord, we give you all the praise. Oh, we testify. We celebrate. Oh, for all you've done, Lord, we give you all the praise.
Watching Camnet TV, not just another channel, and you are also watching the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show. Before we went on the break, we were talking about how, you know, our children are being intoxicated with alcohol, and I was just telling my colleague Precious to say, you know, it's normal. These are the things that we see, which make very sad reading. But then again, at the end of the day, we as individuals have not taken responsibility to actually stand up for these children, because at the end of the day, they don't have voices. It's us who are seeing these things that are able to speak for them. Perhaps we can go into the clip where we have an opinion from the Human Rights Commission concerning the same.
Children's rights are a subsection of human rights. Apparently, children's rights include the right to health, education, family life, play and recreation, an adequate standard of living, and to be protected from abuse and harm. Children's rights cover their developmental and age-appropriate needs that change over time as the child grows up. The country has been treated to unfortunate incidents of child abuse where women subject minors to alcohol even when the right age for beer is classified as 18. Police in Kawe Central Province are investigating a matter of giving intoxicating liquor to a child alleged to have occurred on the 21st of April 2021 in Mukululu compound. It is alleged that a 4-year-old boy was found unconscious after he was given illicit beer, locally known as kachasu, by his mother Patricia Mwansa, aged 17, of the same compound. Kachasu is known to be an illicit blue owing to its high alcohol content and mode of production. And just recently, police in Lusaka arrested and charged socialite Natasha Shindano, popularly known as Mrs. Kennedy, for giving intoxicating liquor to a child, which is contrary to Section 51A of the Juveniles Act Cap 53 of the laws of Zambia. And Human Rights Commission spokesperson Mwirwa Mulea is concerned over the declining moral fiber in society.
It's a violation of the rights of children, for instance, to subject them to drinking alcohol or any other intoxicating substance. But we should go beyond just looking at that aspect and find out what is the root cause of that. You'll find that there's a degeneration of morals amongst parents, where there's a lot of abuse of alcohol, and that should also be just a symptom of the pressing social challenges people are facing in society. So we need to get to the root cause of all these manifestation of violation of the rights of the children, who require special attention and protection, including care from members of society, especially from their parents. So we need to work as various stakeholders, the family members, human rights defenders, the Ministry of Social Welfare and Community Development and Social Welfare, the Zambia Police Service, to ensure that children are protected, but also that parents who engage in such vices are guided, they are counseled, they are educated in terms of protecting the rights of children.
As the saying goes, children are not things to be molded, but people to be unfolded. Hence, it is the duty of adults to help them be children and grow up into responsible citizens. Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
What punishment do you think they should be given? How many years?
It's mwana chari wako.
See working, but
no.
Or for the other one, because there are two now.
Yes.
There's one who, but then she's Mwaiche, 17 years.
That's the thing. Even when I was reading this story yesterday, I was saying, but this is another young person that's inflicting
17
abuse on another young person,
a teenager.
But then the other one who's 24, I don't think, is it 25 or 24 or 23?
24.
She's
24.
above 20, she's an adult. That one, we cannot even have mercy.
Maybe the other one who's 17, rather than that, she's young and she probably
didn't know any better.
But still, man, like this.
Anyway, what are you, as an individual, ensuring that the children that are around you are protected against these vices? Because it's not only children being intoxicated with alcohol, there's sexual abuse, there's defilement, there's rape, there are all these things, there's battery, assault, whatever it is. We have seen these things going on the news. And imagine the ones that are not reported because somebody is living with an aunt or even a mother or a sister and they're being abused physically, but they have nowhere to go because they don't have relatives. They're coming from as far as Kasemba and they're living in Lusaka. They don't have access to a phone, and that has become their way of life. I had an experience growing up where I was in school with this person who was being abused at home. They were being beaten for no reason. They were not being given break. I had to share my food with her all the time. And how many cases are like that?
And just to talk about that, we've seen quite a number of news stories right here on Camnet TV where you trust your, and this is not like people from.
It's always somebody from within.
It's always somebody
whether
from the same
family
or the community.
Yes,
true,
but it's
true.
never somebody. No one. Even these rape cases.
True.
It's very rare that you find a situation where somebody comes from the copper belt and they come and sexually abuse a child in Lusaka, and then we took turns on them.
Yeah.
Imagine what trauma those children will have to grow up with. Imagine what type of people. And most people, and I'll ask Luyando about this. This is just my research from what I have read. You'll find that most people who are actually sexually abused when they're younger become very promiscuous. And I'm sure you can relate to that in terms of what you have read and what you have seen. So it's like it damages you in a certain way, such that you just don't care.
And just to talk about that, I remember a conversation when I was in boarding school. There was a girl that was abused, like when she comes to school, she was very quiet, you know, but very smart girl. So I think it got worse at home, that her performance at school actually, the teachers, it went down, and the teachers noticed. So when they sat her down, she said, when you call them to ask them, very emotional actually, when you call them to ask them about this, they will chase me from the house, and I don't know where I will go, and I don't know how I'll complete. So I'm just kindly asking if we can just, I will try and improve, because she was asked, what's going on, like your marks, your grades are actually have gone really low, I've gone really down. And then she just said, no, this is what happens home, and please, I'm begging you, don't ask them about this, because I will probably be sent back to the village and I won't complete my education. So I will improve, but don't let them know that this is what is happening. And they wanted to help her, but then they didn't know what to do, because that included them talking to the guardians, and which she actually begged that they should not be informed that she has told somebody about it. So how many people are going through such? Yes, that's the question. What do you do in such a situation? And there's so many people out there, both in rural and urban areas, and I don't know what needs to. We've got so many child activists in the country, and they want to help, but then how are you helping to those that are not coming out in the open?
Because like in such a situation, when you're not financially stable to take in another person, but then you want to take away their shelter, but then education at the expense of their health, because whoever is sexually abusing them, you don't know where they've been, you don't know what they're carrying.
True.
So someone wants to get an education, but then they're being sexually abused at that cost. It's like you're paying somebody back. And you know, there was even this practice where even fathers were sexually abusing their children, telling them that, no, I'm the first man that is supposed to know you. And these are the things that happen, where you indoctrinate a child to the point that they only get to realize after interacting with friends to say that's not normal.
And that's actually when it's too late.
It's too late. The damage has already been done. The innocence has already been taken. And then somebody grows up thinking that that's okay, only to find out that their whole life has been a lie.
A lie, true.
And it's very easy to manipulate a child. That's why we who know better need to be able to protect these souls. Because at the end of the day, the ages between 1, 0, and 5 years, I read that that's the quickest time that the brain develops. And at that point, when somebody, for lack of a better term, is damaged, it really has a toll on who they become later on in life.
The rest of their life, yeah, true.
It's really sad.
So now that brings us back to a question of discussion, which is, what are you as an individual doing to make sure that children's rights are protected?
In your home.
In your home, even in your communities as well. So you can hit us on the number 0968675273, 0968675273. You can also get to our Facebook platform and share your story. Have you experienced certain situations in homes or in communities where children are being abused and no one is actually talking about it? We would love to hear if you have experienced such a situation.
And you know, the thing is that even if you may want to help, then you look at their life without that home.
And you can't take them in because your financial,
but then the social welfare also in this country, it leaves very little to be desired.
True.
Where are they going to go from there? So all those things you need to factor before making a decision to report somebody. Because sometimes you report a person, and this has been the greatest challenge, I think, in this country, especially where breadwinners are concerned. If a breadwinner is the one that's abusing children in a home, it's very difficult even for wives to report their husbands, because then they're thinking at the well-being of the rest of the family. And you know, society doesn't take lightly such situations where you report somebody else's child from Kasempa, you're afraid they'll send lightning to you.
We can't run away from. We're a Christian nation,
but that's
it happens.
reality.
True.
And everybody is going to blame you to say, but why didn't you reprimand them? Why didn't you report them to us so that we talk to them? But then you want an abusive parent to live in a home because he's been corrected and not face the law because you want to have bread and butter tomorrow. Yeah. But this is reality. That's why both men and women need to be empowered, because it's not only men that abuse children. Even women now, in whatever form, whether it's physically. It's really sad. We will be having a child activist later on the show who will be joining us to come and discuss some of these issues. And I know even the Human Rights Commission and different stakeholders who are inclined to child's rights have been complaining to say there are certain bills that they would want to see enacted into law in Parliament that have not yet been addressed, which makes very sad reading. I remember reading a story where one child activist was complaining that, you know, there are certain bills that have not been tabled yet. We see the cybersecurity bill moving forward. We saw how much money, effort, and time was spent on Bill 10, but you never find children's bills or bills that have to do with children being debated upon and money being spent on. Even billboards in the central district, business district of Lusaka, you know, being done concerning human rights or child's rights. You don't see that happening.
Which brings me back to my keyword, sensitization.
So do we have enough political will to address this issue? Do we have enough human will to be able to support children in our communities, to be able to see that, to be able to identify problems, and actually government ensuring that solutions are put in place? If there's an orphanage where I know, okay, fine, this child is going to be taken care of, then I as a parent, I as an individual will feel safe to report certain issues because I know they're going to be in a better place. But I don't want to take that shelter away from them because then where are they going to go? I don't want to see them on the street at the end of the day. So those are some of the things that we will be discussing with the human rights activists right here on The Breakfast Show on Camnet TV. For now, we take a short break.
We breathe.
Yes, a breather. But do stay with us as we have enough exciting things, informative things, educative things on the other side.
2021 has been described as a highly politically charged year. This is because every 5 years the country goes to the polls, and that 5 years elapses with only a few months remaining down to the ballot. The battlefield to appear on the ballot is becoming fertile. A lot of people are expressing interest of appearing on the ballot.
In all this, our interest is to put the duty bearers, the leaders, and those aspiring to task by asking the relevant questions.
If you're an aspiring candidate, be it councillor, mayor, or member of parliament, get in touch with us to get yourself on the verdict.
We go beyond speculation in dealing with policy and governance issues. The right questions are asked to help you make a verdict.
For more details, you can call us on 0962 965883, 0979 753010, or email us info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Join us on Camnet TV
every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 17:45 hours
on a new program dubbed The Verdict.
Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel.
The Bible says, I
bananas. Working, waiting, this what you've been praying for.
This is Camnet TV World News. For a prompt response, call +2609 53 995 099 or +2609 62 444 726 or +2609 711 77467. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
You're watching the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show right here on Camnet TV, not just another channel. As earlier mentioned, I did say that we will be having a child activist right here in the studio who is no other than Mr. Paul Chella from the Internet Watch Foundation, who will be guiding us on some of the issues that we spoke about, that Precious and I spoke about, that should be highlighted concerning some of the things that have happened during the course of this week and the previous week. Good morning and welcome to the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good morning. There's so many things that have happened, not only this past week, but even the years before.
Yeah.
We have seen an upscale in, you know, some of the stories being highlighted concerning child abuse, whether it's sexual, and a twist.
Oh yeah.
A twist has happened where we read a story last week where a lady, a socialite, was giving alcohol to a child. And then another story where a 17-year-old girl actually intoxicated her child, who is 4 years old, to the point of the child actually blacking out. And if you've taken alcohol, you know that feeling and how nasty it can be, or to some people how amazing it can be, or whatever, however you take it. But for a 4-year-old child to be able to grasp what's happening to their body really makes sad reading. Your comments on that?
Well, you see, the best and safest hands where the child can be safe is in the hands of the mother. But in that video which circulated last week, that really showed us, you know, a lot about, you know, what people don't really consider danger to the children becoming danger. Because if you leave children home, especially you ladies, women, and you are the most caring. So we needed, I feel we expected much more just from the moral grounds, especially that she's a lady and representing more women out there who are in the position to take care of these kids. You know, it was really something shameful to watch. And you know, alcohol is labeled not below 18, is it? Yes. Not below 18, meaning when it comes to children, because when they say 18, we have even 15, 16, 17 and 18. But when we talk about children, meaning their bodies are not even ready to process everything. So I feel, for one, that children must really be protected at all costs, and I feel that it's everybody's responsibility to make sure that children are safe.
I know there are a lot of child activists, and I think for some it just goes by the title. We see them making statements here and there, but what work is being done on the ground to ensure that, you know, children's rights are upheld, and that even the children themselves know where to go in case of an emergency?
Basically, with time, being a child activist, with time, I've realized that not all cases are reported. Because in most cases, you find that the offender is within the family system and is protected by the family itself. So you find that most women out there, especially women, have failed to come out because families have a way of looking at them and also afraid for the child to say, if I report this case, what is going to happen is that when people know that my child was, you know, taken advantage of, it's going to take a different twist and people will be looking down on the family and everything. So there are many factors out there which are preventing more people to come out to just open up on the issues. But being a child activist, you find in my inbox, like, there are a whole lot of people who need this type of help, and we've gone as far as the victim support and also just, you know, other organizations which we've given most of these cases. So what I actually do in the background is I take these cases to respective offices where they are given adequate attention and looked into, and then we have, you know, some of them going to courts and, you know, getting justice over them. And now I've partnered with the Internet Watch Foundation, which is the IWF, campaigning against also taking down those materials like videos containing child sexual abuse and pictures which might contain child sexual abuse, just to make the internet a better place for the children, especially the victims who've been through the process before. You know, when you've been through the process before and you see a video about what you've been through, it's not really something good for you, especially for your consumption at that particular stage. So it brings up memories, destabilizes how you think, and being a victim comes with a lot of trauma. So that's basically what we're doing. So fighting not only on the ground but also on the internet, because the internet now is everything. Yes. You do research from there, people. So even children have found the access to the internet. They watch cartoons on YouTube. So what we're trying to do is to prevent them stumbling into something which is very, very bad for them, which can affect their mental health. Yeah.
From your experience, having dealt with some of these cases, do you think the law is adequate enough to be able to secure the rights of these children?
Well, I will tell you something that I always say. When you go into countries outside Africa, I feel like these cases are given adequate attention and they are followed up, because the lawsuits themselves, they take these cases as their own, instead of leaving to the mother, the father, and a few people who are fighting. But in Africa, it's actually very sad that even when these cases are reported, they're not given adequate attention. And you find that even when the evidence is all there, they still tell the family to go back and sit down and just discuss as a family matter. Because everything which is done to the children is done to the nation, because those children, everyone who is just, you know, below the age which is stipulated, is it 16 going down, they must be taken as the government property. So when you are negotiating these issues, when they're negotiating these issues, I feel they forget the aspect that they are mandated to carrying out these things on behalf of the children. So I feel the same way the labor laws don't work as much is the same way even rights. When was the last time the Human Rights Commission came here and paid for a program to say, want to educate people about their rights, especially the children's rights? But they don't do that. The last thing you want to hear is how to pay tax, how to, you know, they'll put all those things and you know, and ads which talk about if you divert road tax, then this will happen. So we only bring to light what we feel is beneficial in terms of monetary reform, but we don't look at aspects that are beneficial in protecting people's rights, number one, in protecting children's rights, number two. So I feel that the common interest in our country is all about how is money coming in, not how are we raising up the child out there. So I feel that it hasn't received much adequate, because I've seen many cases which have bounced back, but even the evidence is that they just be like, go and sit down and talk about it. But what we're looking at here is teach the people that children rights are number one, because those are people who are not even able to make decisions of their own. So whatever we do has an effect on them. It's really very sad.
Yes,
actually.
Indeed, it is very sad. What would you like, what type of environment would you like to see moving forward for a child, for a girl growing up in the rural area or an urban area in the confines of a home environment, whether a boy or a girl or whatever, as long as they're a child? What type of an environment would you want to see happen in the next maybe 10 years?
Well, you know, I miss childhood when we were growing up. There was this thing about the time that we were growing in that used to look like this. Your mom is my mom. My mom is your mom. And this is what the communities used to live like. If your mom finds me doing something stupid, she had the right then to whip me, and I would go home crying, and my mom would ask me, why are you crying? Then I would explain. Again, she would also, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But nowadays it's, my kids are my kids, your kids are your kids. The whole goal here is to protect the children. So if they have to be protected, we need to realize that whenever you see a child, you see your own child. Whenever you see a child who is the age of your brother, you see your brother. So do not do things that you can't do to your brother to that child. Do not do things that you can't do to your own daughter or your own son to another son's or another daughter's child. So the whole principle is confined on the principles that we've lost, the custom where we are coming from, the tradition that we've abandoned. The other thing is that I feel that at this particular point in time, we need to put more recreation facilities for most people. I feel the reason why child abuse and child sexual abuse has increasingly hit the numbers that we never expected is because most of the youths out there have nothing to do. You know, we have a high unemployment level, so most of them, they are indulging into alcohol. And when they take alcohol, the reasoning deteriorates. So what happens is that who is at risk? That person is not only a danger to himself, but a danger to the children as well, who are not able to make decisions. And that's the reason why you've even seen a lot of pregnancies, a lot of unplanned, everything just coming on board, because we are looking at having a sound mind, of which most people have children who are not taken care of.
Exactly.
They have kids, but what they're doing is drinking, and now we've seen ladies calling for help. No, I have 2 kids, I need help. What actually is suffering in the process are the children.
Exactly.
Not really the father, not even the mother. So what we need to look at is, number one, early marriages are also contributing. Number 2, alcohol consumption at an early stage, which later on makes it worse or bad for most people to reason better, is also causing a rampant increase into the number of child abuse, child sexual abuse, and much of these cases are coming, the offenders are coming from, much of them are coming from the alcoholic world. So what we need to do is, I feel like we need to diversify. Instead of graduating our youths to looking for the jobs, we empower them and help them realize that entrepreneurship is better, so that at least this other spectrum becomes busy, and then we create recreational facilities where others would go, so that we refrain from these vices.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pochela, for making time to be with us on the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show. I know we can go on and on, because I wanted more information. Perhaps maybe we can have you on another day, where we can talk about the Internet Watch Foundation and how you intend specifically on fulfilling your objective to remove down content that has to do with
child sexual abuse. Okay, just a rough on that one. There is a portal online where you report this. So what you do is, when you find content which is really abusive to the children, especially sexually and you feel this content must be taken down, the Internet Watch Foundation, together in partnership with Zicta, MTN, and also Posi Zambia as an activist, there is a portal which is there online, which is www.stopit.ac.zm. When you go there, you'll find where it says report. So you just go to the video or the picture, you copy the link, and go to the website and paste it. And then you can also report anonymously, where you don't have to put your name in it. So it's your duty, it's everybody out there's duty to make sure that children are protected online, and that's how we can help Zicta and IWF to take down content which is not really good for the children.
Thank you so much for finding time to be with us on the show.
Thank you so very much.
For now, we take a break. To join us on the other side as we have Mr. Luyando, who's going to be helping us really understand the mental side of everything.
Hello, I'm Deborah Lukalu, all the way from South Africa. You are watching Camnet channel, not just another channel. God bless you. Stay tuned.
...2021 has been described as a highly politically charged year. This is because every 5 years, the country goes to the polls, and that 5 years elapses. With only a few months remaining down to the ballot, the battlefield to appear on the ballot is becoming fertile. A lot of people are expressing interest of appearing on the ballot.
In all this, our interest is to put the duty bearers, the leaders, and those aspiring to task by asking the relevant questions.
If you're an aspiring candidate, be it councillor, mayor, or member of parliament, get in touch with us to get yourself on the verdict.
We go beyond speculation in dealing with policy and governance issues. The right questions are asked to help you make a verdict.
For more details, you can call us on 0962 965883, 0979 753010, or email us info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Join us on Camnet TV
every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 17:45 hours
on a new program dubbed The Verdict.
Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel. Welcome back. You're still watching the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show, and earlier we just had Mr. Porchela, who was just telling us some of the children's rights and also situations that he has happened to actually experience and what has been happening on the internet. I think we should have a topic on the Breakfast Show where we talk about, has social media actually detached most of the people from reality? How can I construct a sentence?
No, I guess what you're trying to say.
Yes. So I feel or maybe I remember in school we did a debate, has social media brought more harm than good? And I was
where you were talking about social media in school. Anyway, that's the camera, because I'm wondering, I never had an opportunity to discuss social media issues.
Social media and technology?
Social media wasn't a thing when I was in school. No, we thank God for the long life. We thank God for the longevity.
Before I lose the thought, I remember actually debating about that, and we were on the other side, and we have noticed that. I remember one of my points was these modern families. You find that families, you find you are seated at a table, you are having dinner, and you will see one of the family members, if not all of them, actually checking their phone and pressing their phone. Even when you go to choose, like, I remember my friend making a comment when we went and were hanging out as friends after a long time, and then everybody took pictures when we just met, and then everyone was on their phone instead of catching up and updating each other. My life has been like this, and this is what has been happening. So I feel sometimes we get so addicted to social media, we don't even realize it, and we detach ourselves from society. Hence, seeing people actually post things for the sake of likes and shares, which is very sad. Yeah.
And I think that's why it's important that we should have, and we are going to have Lugando on set with us, so that we actually understand what exactly goes on and what exactly leads people to behave like that. Because it doesn't make logical sense for a person who has friends outside their home to decide to just close up and decide that their whole world revolves around social media.
And you don't even know the people on social media.
No, you don't. Because these Facebook friends, the Twitter friends, or whoever,
they're not people
your friends.
True.
Your real friends are the people that you interact with at the end of the day.
But anyway, I think that has some mental effect, like social media. I remember last week we were talking about alcohol and substance abuse, and we had the psychology and the psychiatrists that were actually explaining the side effects of these, the abuse of these substances. So we're now going to look at this whole behavior on social media, if it's actually a mental thing. Mungazingo Danda said, no, this one comes and just acts mad just because they want views. You don't know, maybe that's a mental problem, and we are ignoring it. I feel we haven't spoken about it much, which is a very sad thing. And I always go back to sensitization. That word for me is just very important, and if we were to expand it, it has a whole lot of explanation and what needs to be done in our country, because I feel we are people that don't take interest in certain things unless we get a certain push, and there's so many things that are actually giving us a cue in to talk about. We need to talk about these things more often, have programs, have people, sensitize people, have what you call the there's a word, flyers. Yes, I don't know if it would be so nice to have flyers, and they're just children's rights, human rights, what you need to know about your rights, what you need to do as a citizen, how you need to behave as a citizen, such things. So, but anyway, we would like to hear from you, 0968675273, or get to our Facebook platform and comment there, and then we would love to actually hear from you. Now, for now, we take a short break, and we'll be having Mr. Hamundo on set as we look at the mental point of view when it comes to all this.
Oh, we testify, we celebrate. Hello, I'm Deborah Lukalu, all the way from South Africa. You are watching Camnet channel, not just another channel. God bless you. Stay tuned. We testify, we celebrate. For all you've done, Lord, we give you all the praise. Oh, we testify, we celebrate. Oh, Lord, we give you all the praise.
2021 has been described as a highly politically charged year. This is because every 5 years the country goes to the polls, and that 5 years elapses with only a few months remaining down to the ballot. The battlefield to appear on the ballot is becoming fertile. A lot of people are expressing interest of appearing on the ballot.
In all this, our interest is to put the duty bearers, the leaders, and those aspiring to task by asking the relevant questions.
If you're an aspiring candidate, be it councillor, mayor, or member of parliament, get in touch with us to get yourself on the verdict.
We go beyond speculation in dealing with policy and governance issues. The right questions are asked to help you make a verdict.
For more details, you can call us on 0962 965883, 0979 753010, or email us info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Join us on Camnet TV
every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 17:45 hours
on a new program dubbed The Verdict.
Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel.
This is Camnet TV World News. For a prompt response, call +2609 53 995 099 or +2609 62 444 726 or +2609 711 77467. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Hello, I'm Deborah Lukalu, all the way from South Africa. You are watching Camnet channel, not just another channel. God bless you. Stay tuned.
We celebrate for all you've done, Lord. We give you all the praise. Oh, we testify. We celebrate for all you've done, Lord. We give you all the praise.
Welcome back to the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show. Yes, of course, and joining me on set is one of our famous psychiatrists, Luyanda Hamwendo, and we will just be talking about the side effects of actually making a minor take alcohol, considering the fact that even on the alcohol bottle itself, it's labeled not for persons under the age of 18. Good morning to you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you. So let's quickly get into it. What happens to a minor when they take alcohol?
So obviously the absorption of alcohol really looks at the body size. So minors, especially those below the ages of 12, absorb alcohol really fast. So what normally happens is that it's likely to destroy their brain, one. Then it can actually lead to complications of the liver, alcohol-induced hepatitis, either at that age when they take the alcohol or when they grow up. Then it can also destroy some parts of the body, such as the bones, and also distort how the hormones work in the body. So it does all of that. So for children who are still growing up, it can also stunt their growth. Not only stunt their growth, but it's also been shown to say they'll have problems with learning, poor concentration skills, and also poor attending skills. So it's something that's not good, obviously, to the brain. That's why we also discourage pregnant women from taking alcohol when they're pregnant.
Okay, so from the things that you've mentioned,
yes.
when you look at a child, or maybe let's say, because you said they get to have issues when it comes to learning things.
Yeah.
So if you as a psychiatrist and you were put in a class, are you able to tell that this child has actually been taking alcohol? From how they behave or how they look at certain things, their perspective of things, are you able to tell?
Yeah, obviously there are a few pointers that we tell parents on how they would be able to know that their children are abusing drugs, because between the ages of 0 to somewhat 12, most children sip alcohol as from their parents or people that they have, guardians, and these are not parents who are alcoholics, but they just have a laissez-faire approach to use of alcohol in children. But between the ages of 13 to 18, we see that most of these try alcohol even away from home. So there are a few things obviously that might help to know as a psychiatrist and also as a parent on whether a child is abusing alcohol or any of the substances. One of the things that we tell parents is, one, if a child had good grades, then from nowhere the grades drop, then you would obviously think of something like that. Then if they spend large amounts of time away from home and they're not able to explain it, then probably you might want to look at that. Then you also have children who are selling personal belongings without an explanation. They also use money without being able to account for the money that they've used. So probably those are a few pointers, not only to alcohol but other substances. So yes, apart from the smell of alcohol, there are a few things that I can look at and obviously suggest that a child is abusing alcohol or any other substance.
Oh, okay. So now, have you ever had situations where a minor was brought and they had mental issues because of abuse of alcohol? We're talking of not children that are able to actually go and buy alcohol, but parents or a guardian that maybe they're the ones that caused the mental problem to a child because they were giving them alcohol. Have you ever had such situations?
No. I think the few situations I've had is there's a condition called fetal alcohol syndrome. So what you normally see is that when a woman is taking alcohol during the times that they are pregnant, children they'll have this look, probably a longer nose bridge. Then there'll be a distance between their two eyes, and the eyes will look a bit faint. So then they'll have standard growth as well. Then these are children who obviously have delays in developmental milestone. So at a certain age you expect a child to be able to sit down. At a certain age you expect them to start saying a few words. But if you see that they have any of these problems and you try to query further, you find that most of these children had parents who used to drink, mothers who used to drink the time that they were pregnant. Not only that, but even if they don't have the alcohol fetal syndrome, it's been shown to say children who grew up in families or had a mother who was drinking during the time of pregnancy, they can actually be addicts in the future of alcohol and these are substances. So it's very common, but not. I've never had an encounter where we had a problem as a result of a parent or a guardian giving a child alcohol. I'm
glad that you've actually mentioned, you said the fetus what?
Fetal alcohol syndrome.
Fetal alcohol syndrome.
Yes.
So let's get into that. I know there are so many women that would actually... I've experienced this in some of the homes. I hope my mom doesn't beat me for this one. There's our famous beer, is it Chivuku?
Yes.
Chivuku, and majority of the women that I have seen in the community I've grown up from, is they would actually drink that to say they are craving, or maybe I want my child to come out light, or maybe I want to give birth to a very healthy baby. We've seen that in community, and you will agree with me.
Yes.
Let's get into the complications of actually a pregnant woman taking alcohol or any substances that might actually affect the baby.
So there are a lot of complications, not only mentally, but also when it comes to low body weight and low body size during birth. then not only those, but these are children who might be born with disabilities. So no amount of alcohol is good for a pregnant woman. No amount of alcohol is good for a child below the age of 18. Yeah, we talked about units last week, the units of alcohol that an adult should take, but there are no specific units even for children, because obviously these are companies that know that alcohol is bad. So for them to put a limit to say 18 and above, obviously they know to say only when a child is, when a person is 18, then they wouldn't have complications. Then there's also this myth that's been going around to say children who are epileptic can be given chivuko and they would
kachasu. I've actually, oh my God, I have actually experienced that. I was coming from school, and I was from my school when I was in primary, getting to home, there was a community I would pass through to get to the other side. There was a time the outbreak of cholera. I think that was in, if not 2010, then that was 2009, 2008, somewhere there. And I saw a queue of children. They were being given a shot of kachasu to say ukamwa suzadwala cholera.
No.
So it's been happening. It's been happening, and it's sad that when one is epilepsy and they get to have, they call it an attack, right?
Yes.
They get to have, they get to have a seizure. They actually to say mupasen kon to kachas as a pupuluk. There are situations like that. Let's talk about that.
Obviously, well, we talked about the complications of alcohol, and we say one of the complications is a person after cessation of alcohol, they would have seizures because epilepsy is caused because of a reduction of a chemical called GABA in the brain, and alcohol simply reduces GABA in the brain. So obviously it might help for a little while because alcohol works the same way that some of these drugs that we give in epilepsy work, but we know that the half-life of alcohol is very short. So once the alcohol wears out of the system, the person might, if probably they had a seizure a day or a week, they would obviously have probably multiple seizures in a week. So it doesn't help. So the proper way to treat someone who's epileptic is simply by giving them drugs, and sometimes surgery might help, not alcohol. Alcohol simply just increases the risk of having seizures. So
there are people that actually give alcohol to people.
Yeah, there are a lot.
Challenge. But anyways, concerning abuse of alcohol or giving alcohol to minors, what is your conclusion before we actually let you go, considering that we know you have church?
Okay, so no amount of alcohol is good for a child. Obviously, not even sipping, because even sipping has been shown to lead children to be addicts when they grow up. Not only addicts, but the increase of risky behaviors is actually increased, such as criminal offenses, multiple sexual partners, and so on. So no amount of alcohol is good. So as parents, we should ensure that we're responsible. Sometimes children are curious. They would want to test, but as a parent, it's up to you to put the grounds and say no amount is good until they're of a certain age, maybe 18 and above. But from there, from 0 to 18, no amount is good.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Hamwendo, for coming through. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, we have to pack our bags and actually go. Hope you had fun and learned one or two things. We were talking about children's rights. What are you, as an individual, is doing to make sure that the children's rights are protected? And earlier, we had a child activist that came through, Mr. Porchela, that was just telling us about children's rights and the situations that they have been dealing with as IWF. And also on the other side, I was just having a conversation with Mr. Hamwendo, who is a psychiatrist. So if you're pregnant and you feel, I don't know if they get to have cravings.
Yes.
You get to have cravings of wanting to drink or have a sip. It's not actually good for your baby. You might think it's just for them, but we're looking at the future of that child. It's not healthy. So make sure that you just stay away from alcohol if you're an expecting mother. And also be on the lookout, the children in your society and also your community and also in your homes, making sure that they're not subjected to such treatments of even sipping alcohol. Well, unfortunately, we've come to the end of the show. On behalf of Liseli Kanyanga Mubanga, Elijah and Isaac Chifita, and myself, Precious Mzea Sakaleja, thank you so much for watching the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show. Continue watching Camnet TV, not just another channel. Good morning.